Abroad Pod.
Hello, I'm your host, Rowan Lomas, and this is the Teaching Abroad Pod. Today on the show, we're blessed to be joined by longtime international teacher Jay Patrick, who spent over 13 years teaching in Asia in all sorts of schools. And he's just come home for the summer, basically, I guess, before going back to teaching abroad. I'm so glad to have him joining us on the pod when the time zones work and he's got some free time to tell us all about some of the keys to a long and successful international teaching career. Jay is a graduate of the University of Toronto with a Bachelor of Science, concentration in microbiology, and TESOL, TESL, TEFL certification from Oxford Seminars. He also completed 200 hours of yoga teacher training in India, so his passions are about as diverse as his experiences. He taught in Taiwan for over 10 years and more recently in Thailand. And prior to transitioning to the teaching field, Jay worked in pharmaceuticals. Welcome to the pod, Jay.
Hey, thanks very much. Great to be here.
My pleasure. So, why did you choose to teach in Asia, specifically in Taiwan, in the first place, after that long and storied career in the pharmaceutical
Well,
industry?
in my life, I've kind of been all over, and it's up and down. Some lives are straight and flat. Mine's kind of up and down. I initially started in pharmaceuticals, my first job, which was fantastic because it allowed me to work and do a bit of travel as well. So that kind of got me into the travel bug. As I moved up, I went from sales to training, and training was actually quite fun, and then manager and marketing. And as I moved around to different companies and jobs, I thought I'd like to jump into training a little bit more or education. So one of the things was, how do you prepare yourself? I had some practical experience, but I needed some certification and some classroom training, and that brought me to Oxford Seminars. Did 100 hours right off the bat, and I'm going to be taking another one in a little bit just to brush up for the next
You one
place.
of the specialization modules.
Yes, that's right. And yeah, so the first job that picked me up, why Asia? Just before I spent 6 months in India and kind of liked it. And I had a historical interest of going through Asia. I studied yoga in India and then just wanted to see how the diaspora moved some of that knowledge from India. So I followed that sort of path. That took me first to Taiwan, which is a great hub for all of Asia. Started off teaching in a little cram school, and that was fine. And tried a regular school. I wanted regular hours, and went to Future Air, bilingual elementary. And they gave me a science job, which is what my background is.
Right.
And it took off from there. It was great fun.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So, what would you say were the highlights of your time in Taiwan?
Highlights of the time from a teaching perspective, the things that really, make you happy or make you chuffed is when you have a student come in and her sister, I taught 2 years before, she says, Teacher Jason, my sister says you're very kind, so I can be in your class. And I'm like, all right. So that's good. The word around is good. When students graduated and I was leaving my school, they had the regular graduation, but then they had a side part where I paid tribute to myself and another teacher who was leaving, and pictures and gifts, and just a wonderful way to go from there.
You're
Um,
obviously touching people's hearts and making a difference as a
yeah,
teacher in Taiwan.
well, that's the thing about teaching science is I was able to rate my day between the number of oohs and ahs I can get the kids to say. It's like, is it magic or is it science?
You're like Bill
And
Nye over there. Bill Nye the science guy.
sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was fantastic that way. And the thing is when you're in Asia, teachers are venerated. They're up fairly high. So you get a lot of respect, and the parents are hard on their students if they're disrespectful. I had a child take a candy from my desk, and I said, "Hey, what are you doing? You didn't even ask for it." And I just kind of said something to the homeroom teacher. She told the parents the next morning, the child's coming back, teacher, I'm really sorry. I'll never happen again. A week later, the mother comes in and says she's sorry because he took the
Wow.
candy without permission. So it was wonderful to,
That's not the typical kind of parent-teacher relationship you hear about in North America.
No, it's completely opposite, I think. So that was some of the good things. The other thing is just the connections long after. When I left Future, I had a Facebook. I opened a Facebook for them. All the kids signed up, and every once in a while I'll flip back and see where they are. Went back and took a look, and then I clicked some stuff and I said hi. I saw one student was now in med school, so I showed a picture of her doing Rube Goldberg chain reaction machine at home. And everybody just started flying back. And some kids were sending me like science things that they thought was cool because I was teaching them science. That was also wonderful, you know. And
Awesome.
yeah, so it's really about all the kids. I couldn't remember something in Chinese, so I lined one of the parents, and she had her kids make a little video and send it back to me. That's like years later. So it's the relationships really, the people and the faces that you meet and you help and you can bump into again.
It's sounding very amazing from that, but were there any lowlights or cautionary tales?
Always, there's always things that aren't so great. But I want to keep this meeting positive.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
no,
won't remember the horrors of living in
well,
Taiwan.
I went to Taiwan because it was kind of in the middle, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was actually more English than they were presenting because you see all the products from Taiwan and stuff. So I went over there and it was really quite amazing. But the first thing you do is you just drop your expectations. You go to a restaurant and you order from a picture and you think you're getting something you're familiar with, and what comes to you is entirely different, but it's okay. It's good, it's healthy, they're proud of it.
Well, I
It's
have
usually
told this story before, but I did have a not great experience with that ordering from a picture in Korea, which I thought looked tasty, but it turned out to be chicken feet, which I did not enjoy.
Oh, well, there's black chicken feet and the regular chicken feet. They're just kind of chewy.
Yeah, it's not my favorite type of meat. I wouldn't order it again, I will say.
Oh, well, at least you tried it.
At
So
least I tried,
my thing is
unintentionally, I tried it.
try everything once, and
Yes, that's
believe
true.
me.
I am open to trying anything. Good attitude to have when
And
abroad.
Taiwan has lots of that because when they render an animal, every part of it is used. The tail, the intestine,
No waste.
yeah, no waste whatsoever. And you'll find it on the street. All the parts of the cow that you've never tasted before, or insects, or whatever. And
Yes.
eating a scorpion and
Oh, did you
grasshoppers,
like
and
it?
it just tasted like barbecue. But they said the scorpion's supposed to make you strong. So what the heck?
Yeah, there's always some kind of theory about how some food is gonna do something
Chi-
positive for you, right?
Chinese medicine, yeah, sure.
How about Thailand? Any highlights, lowlights from there?
Thailand was amazing, and I've been back and forth. Even when I was in Taiwan, I would travel around to all different countries like Sri Lanka and Japan. I've been to about 7 times, and Thailand maybe 7 or 8 times. And you see it as a tourist, but the last 2.5 years were really fantastic because I was in some public schools, government schools. One of them, 100-year-old government school. It's a girls' school, but they're starting to let boys in, and it was really LGBTQ friendly. And they, being 100 years old, they practice some cultural traditions that you don't see everywhere else. And it kind of helped me solve something about Thai dress and Indian dress. It has really ornate patterns and stuff like that. Then you lay on a bunch of just a rainbow of colors, and then lay on top of that, layer on top of that, things that reflect light. So their crowns are gold, and they have gold and silver in their makeup, and then put
Wow,
in
quite
that beautiful
ornate.
in that beautiful dress, you put in a person that's really happy and feels as beautiful as they look. And doesn't matter your size or your shape or anything. If you're in that Thai traditional dress and you're with a whole bunch of other people, it's just so stimulating to the eyes, pleasing, if you will.
Have you worn it?
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
actually,
send
part
some
of that
pictures
is,
of that.
part of that is the shirt that you wear when you're at this school, if you wore a nice shirt, the tie, everybody responds to it. It's amazing. You go to school and people say, "Wow, that's beautiful" and stuff. One time, it was Teacher's Day, and I didn't have a tie batik, but I just had a nice blue shiny shirt made of silk from Vietnam. So it was really nice. And I wore it and go into the meeting hall for Y Crew Day. This was sort of the third hall and maybe lower in status, I guess, because they moved me. They saw I had a nice shirt. They moved me up to Magnolia Hall where the director and all the high dignitaries were there. And they had a wonderful ceremony where the kids are coming in and they're laying flowers on the teacher's lap and saying, "Bless me for this year" and stuff like that. And you tie a piece of rope around as a promise. So culturally amazing. I can't believe it. And it inspires you to try harder, to do more for the kids. It was really incredible. And I even told the kids that. It was so fantastic
Awesome.
just to be part of that, just to see it, and it moves you, if you will. Yeah.
Sounds like it for sure. Um, so you've talked a lot about the people you meet, the cultural experiences that you've had in these countries. Are there any particular places, kind of sites to see that you would recommend in either Taiwan or Thailand?
Okay, so Taiwan, you have islands around Taiwan. Like you have Taiwan proper, and it can be very hot. I'm kind of a beach and ocean person, an island person. So there are a number of islands around. Lanyu Island, Green Island, Lu Dao, Turtle Island, Xiaoliocho, all little islands. You go to Xiaoliocho, your bed and breakfast or whatever will set you up with a bike and you can just ride around the island.
I would
Yeah,
love that.
yeah. And you stop and they've got restaurants and barbecues, but it just slows things right down, you know? That was pretty amazing on Taiwan. And when COVID happened, Taiwan was really great for COVID, where they had SARS before, so they locked down and everybody masked up early. So you could travel around Taiwan because there was very little COVID, or like 5, 10 cases isolated in hospitals. So for COVID, we just traveled around the island, saw many different places, and you get to see it a little bit more in depth.
I've heard the hiking is quite excellent as well.
Yeah, in the mountains, absolutely. Toroko Gorge is really nice. Sometimes it caves in and you can't always see it. So you have to try again next time and get a good, you get lucky, you get to go in further. And water slides in Toroko Gorge. Lots of scuba diving. Actually, all the islands have a little bit of scuba diving and coral surfing. You can, even Shaliocho, which is a little bit closer, you can go there and just go swimming. We went swimming one day and I saw something flip in the water. Took a look underwater. It was a mom and a baby green turtle just swimming
Oh,
around.
wow.
They're quite common now, but you don't have to try really hard to see something. Go scuba diving. They've got some coral reefs, but they've also got some man-made sculptures under the water. So it's quite fun. And the Taiwanese people are always really quick to laugh and have a joke and have some fun. So it was pretty good. Yeah.
I've been snorkeling in Thailand, and that was quite memorable as well. Would you say there's kind of comparable experiences in both countries?
Um, well, yeah. I first went to Thailand, very first time, 1995. That's a long time ago. We went out to the Similan Islands and the Adnan Islands and went scuba diving for 7 days, 7 nights, and it hooked me on scuba diving at that time because there were so many fish just swimming around you and great big things. A great big manta ray came and did circles beside me, and the octopus.
Oh,
Scuba diving, it's a whole new world, but in
yeah. I'm
Thailand,
not a
man,
scuba diver, unfortunately, so the best I've got is some snorkeling in Thailand and Hawaii, which that alone was pretty amazing. So I can't
yeah,
even imagine a manta ray
yeah,
while
yeah,
scuba.
yeah, everything. Yeah, so that was a long time ago. They fish pretty hard now in Thailand, but you can always see lots of stuff just snorkeling or whatever. Yeah, wonderful. And they have scuba diving everywhere in Thailand. And again, in Thailand, there's lots of little islands, and I've been there a number of times. So there's like Koh Kood and Koh Mak over on the east side of the Gulf. Those are nice.
I went to Koh Chang. Have you been there?
Koh Chang, yeah, just south of there is Koh Kood and Koh Mak,
Okay.
smaller islands. When I was in the Philippines once, I had a guy take me out in a boat to a little island, and it was one hut on that island. It was a couple living there, and I had him drop me off there, and I just stayed on the beach
Oh,
for a night. Actually, it turned out to be a little bit longer because the wind picked up, and he couldn't come back and pick me up.
so you're literally off the beaten track.
Yeah, love it. So, yeah, Koh Samui, Koh Tao, Bin, Racha Island, on the south end, Lipe, Koh Lipe Island. Now, a long time ago, I was taking a ferry and I bumped into somebody from Norway, and they said, go to Koh Lipe if you can. It's supposed to be like the beach on Prozac. And because it was just so relaxed and just a little island with almost in a circle shape with a lagoon in the middle. It was quite nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So I like the islands, but I've also been to a lot of the temples. Sukhothai, fantastic. Try to catch it in the morning, in the evening. Some great pictures there. And it's really cleaned up all around. So you can sit where, like King sat in the middle of the lake on this little pedestal that he had there for a while and hang out for the whole day. Very relaxed atmosphere, really nice, not too expensive. A long time ago, I went up to Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai up in the north and Pai as well and did a hill tribe trek. Very authentic. You stop in hill tribes. The group would put on in their traditional clothes, Karen tribe and a couple other tribes, and put on a show for you. And the food just blew you away. So spicy and amazing. Yeah, it was pretty fantastic to do a trek. Yeah, I try to cover as much, try not to go the same place twice, but I'll probably go back to Thailand again for
Why
sure.
did you decide on Thailand after so many years in Taiwan?
When I was in Taiwan, one of the teachers that I became friends with said, it's not that hard. We can start a school. We can start a cram school. So we took a look at it. We got a place, and she was already tutoring some students, and then we just transitioned right into the school. So for the next 4 years, we ran a cram school and developed our own teaching and tried to make it original. One thing we found that was missing was they can write and they can read, but they have a lot of difficulty speaking. And you have to encourage them and find ways to get them to speak as much as possible. And that was part of my thing. I developed lots of speaking games and had the kids do anything to keep them talking. We also did lots of the science stuff, tricks or science projects or something like that. That like a hook makes the kids enjoy it, and then they go home and they're happy and they tell their parents and their parents are happy. And so the cram school was going good. Then we got hit by COVID. We fought through it. When you're working with somebody 6 days a week, after a period of about 4 years, it starts to fray a little bit. The relationship starts to fray. So I've been to Thailand a lot. Found a school in Thailand to go to, and gave my notice and moved on. And
So did your cram school continue on after you left?
oh, of course, yeah. So no, I helped and find some other people to fill my place. We got two teachers to do separate my schedule, and
That's
yeah,
nice.
and it's still going, real
So
life
you made
English.
a strong impact there for the long term.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, I forgot how to say something in Chinese, and I just lined somebody who I hadn't seen in 5, 6 years, and they were, boom, answers right back. How are you? I still get invitations for dinner from some of the kids I used to tutor. It's really, you move to a different community and you inculcate yourself in that community. You get to know people. It's really, really nice. And after 13 years, I come home and I'm in a little culture shock now. Uh,
Reverse culture shock, yeah.
yeah, you bet. You bet. You get used to it over there. You get
I
used to
got
it.
that even after a short 1 year in Korea, I came back and everything was like too different after only a year.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine after 13 years.
Things can change. Well, I used to go to the jazz festival and watch it, and the tickets were $50. Well, I tried to go a week ago, and it was $350.
Oh,
So that's 700%.
it's crazy inflation.
Yeah. But food too and everything else, but we're working through it and
Yeah, you don't even want to compare the cost of a pad thai in Bangkok to a pad thai in Toronto.
yeah, $15. $15, right? And you can go get it on the street for 20 baht, which like that's the thing is the food is so cheap there. Your living costs, you're in Thailand, it's your apartment. That's how much your biggest expense. And then food is really cheap and it's so fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason, back to your question, moved from Taiwan to Thailand. Taiwan's food is what they call plain food. Your spices are pepper and a little bit of chili sometimes.
Mm.
Um, Other than that, you want vegetables, it could be just boiled vegetables. They have some, stinky tofu, cho tofu, which is fermented tofu. You can smell it from miles away. And they have beef noodle soup and stuff. They have some great foods, but it's not really spicy, like or Indian spicy with many different spices, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, astringent, all those flavors. Theirs is pretty plain and flat. It's good, it's healthy, they're proud of it, and some people I know love to go to Taiwan for their food. But for me, it's I like bold flavors. So Thai food and Indian food are my top two. So Thailand was right next door, so that was part of the reason I went to Thailand.
Good call. I noticed from your CV, and you mentioned it also about your yoga teacher training. Are there any skills from that that you kind of incorporate into your English teaching classrooms?
Oh yeah. Well, in Thailand, I was teaching high school, and some of the kids were saying, "Oh, we're so stressed. We got all these exams and stuff." So I said, "Okay, well, you know what? You're given a lot of leeway by the director or the principal to step outside and do something different." So there, I had the kids do partner yoga with mindfulness meditation. Had everybody laying on the floor in the classroom and meditating and listening to their heartbeats and it kind of opened them up. And they were de-stressed for their exams.
So you
So
actually you saw it. It was verifiably working for them to prepare for their exams.
oh, well, just to de-stress,
Yeah.
anyways. They were fairly stressed, and I got them to relax that one time with that. I also got them to play a number of games, just simple cram school games when we were learning, just to sort of pump up their energy a little bit. And those guys actually did quite well in their SATs, and I got some comments back. One student, his name was Big, and he was kind of tall, but anyways, he I saw him one day, and then the next day I saw him in my variety store, and he goes, "Teacher Jay, I got a really good mark on my SATs. You really helped out." Talking about punctuation, nobody talked to them about punctuation. The semicolon, the colon, where to use them when, the comma. So we did something fun, but it helped them out in the long run. They got better scores, so you feel a little chuffed about that, a little happy. Cooking. I always try to incorporate cooking into just about anything. So if you try really hard, the management helps you out and they push you forward a little bit, and you can do some unique things that really light up kids' eyes, and that's kind of the joy of teaching, really, for me.
Good strategies to incorporate for all our listeners out there who are going to be teaching abroad. Ways
Well,
to de-stress your students and also get them excited in the classroom.
you can do a squid in almost any Asian class, but you can also do any kind of cooking an omelet and have the vocabulary for the omelet and the ingredients and have them make it and then have them make a video when they go home of them making it and speaking in English. Chat GPT helps them now. So the speaking is something I think that you really have to drive home sometimes.
That's a good point. Chat
Yeah.
GPT can write your essay, but it can't speak for you.
And you can't always tell. And the student will swear up and down that I wrote this. But
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did, even though that English level is much higher than typically you demonstrate in class.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I did wonder about science teaching jobs. I know our contacts in Thailand do tend to offer a little bit of a higher wage for people with a degree in math or science who can teach English in math or science. Do you find the same thing in Taiwan?
Yeah, and or business. Math, science, business are all a bonus if you can fall into those categories.
In
Um,
high demand.
yeah, science is a little bit harder to teach because sometimes they want people with a full teaching degree to teach science. But in other parts, depending on where you are, the science can either be really high or it can be muted quite a bit. Some schools with a religious persuasion may want less science. The Finnish schools, they merge their science with social studies more and more, so it's not a distinct unit. So different schools do different things. But yeah, if you can get a science position and the school supports you with resources, we did a lot of stuff from trash, toys from trash that we could make science toys and games from old cups and tin foil and whatever we could come up with. And that was the creative part. We did lots of science clubs for grades one, two, three, four, and five. And they would stay after school for an hour, and you would have one little science demonstrating principle in an activity for them. And usually it's something, if you can get them to take it home, then the parents see it, they know the kids are happy and everybody's happy.
Great.
So and now you're adding more and more technology. So videos. For business classes, I had to do a number of simulated games, like you're opening a cookie store. What are you going to price your cookie? What are you going to name your store? Go through all the basic business requirements to starting a business, and then build a signage. And then we have them compete, and students buy cookies from other stores. And the ones with the most money, they win. And
That sounds fun.
yeah, so gamification now is always good. Yeah, any kind of game, simulated game.
Where do you think you're going for your next teaching abroad adventure?
I'm sticking here for a little while, just here in Canada for a little while, just because I'm helping some people do some stuff here, and then it could be Vietnam or it could be Myanmar. Vietnam, always enjoyed it. Have been there many times as well. Love the food, fresh food, veggie food, but also Myanmar. Been over there once, didn't get to cover as much as I wanted. Like to go back and actually teach, but it's a little tense now. So
Yeah, it's definitely not the easiest place to find a job posting. I know if you check on the job boards, there's lots of schools in Vietnam hiring, but you don't see too many out of Myanmar.
yeah, there are some, but and you would know better than this that there are people that go over then teach there and they say it's fine. Just watch what
Yeah,
you
yeah. We had a
say.
guest actually on our show not too long ago who was in Myanmar teaching there, but just not the same kind of volume of job postings you would see for Vietnam.
Yeah. What was their experience?
He was really enjoying it. I think the episode might be called like on Burmese tea culture or something. I don't know. If you look back through the playlist, you can find it and hear his experience. He's actually he's a recruiter we work with for I guess recruiter's not the right term. He's the founder of a volunteer teaching program in Colombia.
Okay.
So he hires or finds
Oh,
our course graduates who want to go to Colombia on a short-term volunteer stint. But he's also a teacher and he's himself teaching in Myanmar. So he talked about both of those aspects.
yeah, okay. Right on. Yeah, I think there was a couple news articles I saw recently, and it was talking about some teachers going over there and saying it's actually their experience was fantastic. They had no problems as a foreigner
Yeah,
in
as a foreigner, teaching English is a very different experience, I guess,
yeah,
than people who are not not preferred by the current
yeah.
government.
You never know, you might see something you don't like.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, you have to be quiet.
Yeah, got some options to consider, it sounds like.
Yeah, sure.
Not not going to continue on with the same old, try new things.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's always about trying to adapt to new situations. And in Thailand, sometimes it's they put you in a course and it's like, try it out, see what you can do. And teaching is learning, right? You have to upgrade, you have to learn all the time on the fly. And so it was like, okay, well, we're gonna put you in SAT. You're going to teach the SAT from a standpoint of reading and transition words. And I'm like, okay, that's English, I guess. I've never written the SAT. We don't write, well, in general practice up here in Canada, but I helped them and they did well. So I'm happy about that. But
That's
the other
true for
one
a lot of
was,
teaching jobs, though, isn't it? It's like, well, I guess I better learn this so I can teach it.
well, they teach us about the modalities of learning new things. But and then the other one was drama. And I'm like, drama, okay. I've got a little experience because I've been background in a couple of movies, but then got to see some really amazing method actors, actresses, and actors just practicing a really emotional scene or a really happy scene and watch how one was like really super sad. In the story, her boyfriend got mangled in a car crash and she was the paramedic and she was crying and stuff like that for 20 minutes on set, staying in character. And so, from a drama class, that was fantastic. Just watching her follow the process right to the end of the shot. Yeah, we did. It was actually a lot of fun. I never really played with drama that much, but I liked movies. And then they gave me, you're going to teach drama. And I'm like, okay. And so I started pulling stuff up. And it was actually really good for me, but also I got to teach it to the kids. And we made a couple of videos and a couple of plays and talk shows. And it was quite fun.
I can see just talking to you, and I must be how you are in your interviews as well. You're very, smiling and engaged and moving around. So they must have seen the actor in you in your
Oh,
interview.
yeah. Well, actually, when they asked me, they said, "What do you think about drama? Do you want to do some drama?" And I'm like, "I don't know much about it." And I said, "No." But then I moved to another school and did some drama there, and it was fantastic. Glad I did.
What would you say to anyone who may be on the fence about getting TEFL certified and teaching abroad, or people who might be concerned about investing their money in the training and relocation costs?
Well, the money's worth it. Uh, it may seem expensive here, but somebody told me once that this was a Chinese guy traveling through Norway and on his bike all through Europe. He was going to go around the world, and he said the best money you'll ever spend is through your eyes, things you experience. So for a certification and practical guidelines and things you can use in your classes that you get from Oxford seminars. Those practical things plus the certificate is not really that expensive and it opens up a whole new avenue for you. Opens up the world, if you will, or a portion of the world. And you can go and try if you have the feeling for teaching, if you like sharing and teaching, and yeah, jump in both feet. I came late. Like I said, I came late. I was in pharmaceuticals and worked a couple other jobs in marketing, worked one government job, and then I went to India. And then it said 6 months in India, and it was like everything I wanted to learn that I wasn't exposed to was there and available, and they're happy to share it for free. So I learned yoga and I started teaching yoga. And then it was just, I like travel. I want to keep going. Let's try to teach as a career. Let's try education. It opened the door for me. And everything in my last 13 years was so amazing. You'd never lose it again. You'll never forget it, and it's a different perspective. Makes you relax a little bit in your time here on Earth, and it's uh, it's a whole new life. It opens up everything. You may not like what you're doing right now. You're just working to pay your bills and stuff like that. Well, you can change your life in a place where maybe the rent is cheaper and the food is cheaper and you don't have to work so hard and its pace is slower and every day is a whole new thing, literally in a language you don't know. So it's like being in India and the fuse burns out on my adapter and I have to go find it. Well, that's a half a day's adventure trying to find the right store.
Good way to
And it's
look at it.
enjoyable if you enjoy it, right? The other thing is in Asia, teachers are venerated. They hold you high, which should inspire you to do your best. If you like children, if you like cultures, if you like teaching and sharing, then it can change your life.
Very
Yeah.
well said. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
your insight, Jay.
Yeah.
So before we go, I should mention our contacts in Thailand are now interviewing for teaching jobs in elementary, middle, and secondary schools that will start at the beginning of the second semester in October. You could get a one-term contract, which runs from October through March, so it's a great option for people seeking short-term jobs. Positions typically pay between 30 and 43,000 baht with higher salaries in the higher cost of living cities like Bangkok also. If you majored in math or science and would be comfortable in teaching math or science and English, like I mentioned, the subject-specific teaching positions tend to pay at the higher end as well. If you can commit for at least a year, Taiwan generally pays quite a bit more for new teachers than they would get in Thailand. And cram schools will consider those with a 2-year college diploma or associate's degree plus TEFL certification as well. So that's one of the best paying options for those who don't have a bachelor's degree but have completed at least a 2-year college diploma from a recognized college. As always, thanks for tuning in to the Teaching Abroad Pod. We'll be releasing new episodes monthly for the foreseeable future. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like and subscribe and also share with your friends. Remember, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the usual places. If you have any great ideas you'd like to hear us discuss in upcoming episodes, please leave them in the comments on YouTube or email us at teachingbroadpod@oxfordseminars.com. Thanks for listening.